What very realistic event could happen to make 2020 even worse? The big one finally happens in California that we've been warned about our entire lives. The whole of California quarantines itself by fucking breaking apart from the continent. Edit. Some of y'all really don't like California. Growing up in Missouri, we were warned about a different big one. Hurricane season is coming up. I thought hurricane season was over. I found a snake under a blanket in the bedroom. It's already happening, people. Could be worse, could have been in your boot. Can we at least get through half of 2020 before trying to outdo it? No, we're speed running the end of the world this year. Grocery stores are forced to close due to employees being infected by the coronavirus. There's always someone who would be willing to take the job, especially with the amount of unemployment coming. Extinction of the bees. A much overdue seismic big one hitting my state of California. The last catastrophic quake, as told by several tribes' lore, was in the 1700s and created Humboldt Bay. That would suck with everyone being in quarantine right now. The government is trying to take away all privacy. Fuckers. Politicians from both sides loved the Patriot Act after 9/11. As long as you slap a name like that on a bill, it will pass. Get ready for the American Strong Act of 2020. The coronavirus could mutate to become deadlier. Or we could just realize it is deadlier or has long-term effects we didn't know about. Or a rushed vaccine produces rage zombies and we are actually in the precursor to every zombie apocalypse movie ever made. When diseases mutate, the virus doesn't just send out a telepathic signal that makes all the other viruses in the world mutate at the same time, so hopefully we could try to contain that new concentrated mutated strain. NASA is lying and that asteroid is really gonna hit Earth, but again maybe that wouldn't be so bad after all. OM8 I heard about that, April 29th. 0. The PAC-NW experiences a 9.0 Cascadia subduction zone earthquake. I finally got approved to work from home, it better not. I live in NW, Washington. Want some irony? Our neighborhood emergency preparedness meetings have been cancelled due to. Edit. I've lived in the PNW for 10 plus years and had no idea Mount Rainier could blow. I thought all the Cascades were extinct. Thanks everyone. Fuck. Internet shutdown. I feel like spanking you just for suggesting it. I heard a rumor that there is still internet in California. Giant forest fires evacuating large parts of California during the escalating coronavirus outbreak. Pretty ironic that last October I was told that I had to leave my house and now being told to stay home. Power outages. Food shortages would start to be huge. Another hurricane. While everyone's in quarantine. An infectious disease hurricane would not be fun. Random chimp event. That's my band name. Unexpected solar flare completely shuts down all electronics and internet for a long period. Would be horrible for the quarantined in their sad face. That would be absolutely devastating to the medical industry, especially now. Yeah, that would be pretty bad. If all electronics and the internet shut down, think about what you currently have in your possession to offer as trade. Assuming that roving gangs don't just forcibly take it from you first. State-sponsored hackers attacking the medical industry. Yep, that would turn this shit up to 11. Stop. Stop. You're giving them ideas. The Cascadia subduction zone shifts and a major earthquake wipes out a large chunk of the Pacific Northwest. If an enormous solar flare from the sun strikes Earth, it could take out our electrical grid, internet, and almost all electronic devices. A solar flare stuck in 1859 that would have caused $10 trillion worth of damages today. Fortunately, most internet backbones are in non-conductive optic fiber. Imagine getting reset to the 1840s. Also crazy that practically no one knows about the imminent risk of a coronal mass event. If Yellowstone erupted, you might as well grab a good bottle of your choice and kick back. Woody Harrelson style. Put your head between your knees, grab hold of your ankles, and kiss your bum goodbye. The Earn It bill being passed by Congress. It effectively ends internet encryption and any perceived internet privacy we still have. https://www.f.org/d/link/2020/03/earn-it-dash-it-bill-governments-not-so-secret-plan-scan-every-message-1. Thanks to those who've asked what can be done. Here's how you can let your congressional rep know that you expect them to vote against the Earn It bill. Please share this and please make your voice heard. https://act.f.org/action/protect-r-speech-and-security-online-reject-the-graham-blumenthal-bill. They're trying to get it done while we're all distracted. Evil pricks. How much encryption will Americans have to do online banking unencrypted? Any disasters during this pandemic? Imagine if this is still spreading rapidly in April with mass quarantines, and a tornado outbreak on the likes of 2011 super outbreak hits. Injured normally have medical to go to, but if it's all filled up by sick patients, well, let's just hope it doesn't come to that. Everyone in the States, count yourselves lucky that this outbreak didn't hit in July to September and hope it gets cleared before then. Imagine if this was widespread during a Category 5 hurricane impact, when they normally tell an entire region to scram to other parts of the country. Edit. I'm well aware of comments regarding corona still a threat in June to September. You aren't unique. Please stop leaving those comments and instead reply to those that already have done so. Thank you. Earthquakes happen year-round. It would be catastrophic. I live in Nashville and we pretty much just come out of a pretty bad tornado that wrecked a good chunk of the city. Then this coronavirus garbage. And most of us are service industry or freelancers, musicians, photographers, videographers, so we're really getting hit hard with all this quarantine mess. Another natural disaster, an insect plague, another war, another disease, etc. At this point it's amazing that we're still here and not in a grave somewhere given the circumstances of the year so far. Isn't an insect plague already happening in Africa right now? Insect plague? The hell? Can we, not? Natural. Yellowstone erupts. Man-made. Some moron decides a war is a good way to kickstart the economy after the corona disaster. Yellowstone is due to blow, but in geological time. It's sometime in the next 100,000 years or so. I've actually wondered if the Iran scare at the beginning of the year actually happened, how the coronavirus wouldn't affected the war. You can't just be like, well, we're postponing the war. Economy collapsing beyond repair everywhere. Well, my mom died yesterday, so there's that. Edit. Definitely did not expect to wake up to all of this. Thank you all for your support. You have no idea how much that means to me. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm really sorry to hear that. It has to be devastating. I know I'm just a stranger on the internet, but I'm happy to listen if you want to tell me some of your favorite memories with her. Dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark they shoot bees at you. That's far worse than anything that could happen. Thank you so much for this visual. I'm laughing and crying from fear at the same time. Alright, this thread is worsening my anxiety. Same, but I can't look away. Definitely a hot war. A pandemic might create enough stress to cause the Middle East to erupt. Terrorists decide to bomb important medical labs as well as the CDC and WHO. Is that what happens when you pop the cure bubbles in plague? China finally pulls the trigger on Taiwan or Hong Kong. Utah is having earthquakes this week, nothing more than 6 though, so we're okay, and Utah is overdue for a massive earthquake, so these little guys could trigger it. Smiley face. Edit. Keeping my facts straight. Someone deciding now is a good time to go to war when defenses are down. Edit. And my inbox got defeated. This is border violation. I bet the last thing that is let down during a medical crisis is the functionality of military defense. The secondary effects on society if the COVID-19 continues to increase exponentially. A lot of the strands of the fabric of society that we take for granted could start unraveling. We are in a very precarious situation. Cats 2. Too far, man. Too far. I can get behind all the other disasters because most of them are just the end of humanity and it's not my problem anymore. But Cats 2 is just unnecessary suffering. A Great Depression. This season of Earth is entirely too unrealistic. What have the writers been thinking? Have to wait a while to know if it's a depression or just a recession. A coronal mass ejection. There was a huge one in 1859 called the Carrington event. It destroyed telegraph lines. You're probably thinking, oh, those are rare, that'll never happen again. In 2012 a similar-sized flare missed the Earth by 9 days. If one did occur, we'd only have 17 hours from release to try and minimize damage, and less time if there was a previous smaller CME before a big one which pushed most of the solar wind out of the way. There are more than 3,000 satellites in orbit at the minute. We would lose almost every single one, and the ones that don't decay in their orbits and burn up in the atmosphere might crash into each other, creating a ring of space junk around the Earth, trapping us in for the foreseeable future. You don't want to know how bad it could be on Earth. Why are all bad things starting with Corona? There are more than 3,000 satellites in orbit at the minute. We would lose almost every single one, and the ones that don't decay in their orbits and burn up in the atmosphere might crash into each other, creating a ring of space junk around the Earth, trapping us in for the foreseeable future. Common misconception. The space debris field will make it difficult, impossible to put new satellites in orbit, but it's not going to trap us in. It will still be totally doable to navigate escape orbits. North Korea successfully launching a nuclear warhead that lands either in South Korea or Japan, then sparking an international incident. Or Russia invading the Baltic states. Well, if NK nukes someone, they are on their own. China has voted against them in the UN in the past, and if China does anything to show support with NK, they would effectively be isolating themselves. As some with a ton of anxiety during this time, I shouldn't have read this thread. It was nice knowing y'all. Let's not give 2020 any more bright ideas, please edit. Thanks for the awards. But I'm down to one good arm thanks to 2020. Let's stop trying to see how it can get worse. It's only the 3rd month and it already feels like a decade has passed. An alien invasion. I'd almost welcome it at this point.